For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone as we finish up our preview of the 2014 ACU football season with senior defensive end Nick Richardson and ACU head coach Ken Collums. Nick, let's start with you, and let's talk a few numbers. I don't know how much you think about them, but you are already top 10 in career sacks at ACU with a season like you've been having the last couple of seasons. This year, you could become ACU's all-time sacks leader. How much do you think about that at all?
Honestly, I don't think about it much. I couldn't even tell you how much I have as the total, but I do know it's out there, and I think it's 10 or 11 that I have to get, but I'm not really worried about it. You just play the defense, and everything will fall into place.
If you're not thinking about numbers, then what are you thinking about as this new season begins, your last season at ACU?
I'm thinking about winning because it's our first season in the Southland, and I just want to come out and win a bunch of games, as many as we can.
Interesting, because you were D1 last year as an independent, but there's a difference I'm sensing from you this year with it being the Southland Conference that you're a part of.
Definitely, because this year we have a chance to actually go out and win conference. No chance at playoffs, but I know everybody's looking for the win.
Yeah. Let's talk about your side of the ball, because you're part of a very loaded group, 8 returning starters. How much do you feel a sense of ownership for this team, knowing that the defense is ahead of the offense, at least in terms of experience?
Having 8 starters coming back is huge. As from a leadership standpoint, I know that the defense has a big role to play, and with the D-line and the safeties and the linebackers, we're all coming back. I don't think it'll be that much of an adjustment period as far as getting the team to come along. The defense will really pick up where we left off last year.
How much does it help a defensive end, a pass rusher, to know he's got a veteran secondary backing him up?
Very good. Cover sacks are huge. I know second effort sacks, you don't always get there on your first try, but second effort sacks, that's where you make your money.
Give me the names of a couple of guys who will be on the D-line with you, maybe that are new to ACU, that some fans of the Wildcats don't know yet.
A.J. Tolbert, he's an incoming freshman. We're looking for him to play a huge part of the D-line. We got Josh Finley. He's running with the 1s and 2s, so he looks pretty good. And then a couple more transfers. Rashad, he looks good, and a couple freshmen should play a part.
All right, well, let's talk to your head coach here. Coach Collums, about to start your 3rd season. You're an offensive guy. You're a state championship winning quarterback. You won a national championship as a quarterback, and you throw it all over the yard as an offensive coordinator and head coach. But what does it mean to you as a head coach to have a guy like Nick Richardson anchoring a very veteran-laden defense?
Well, in this league where we are going, you need people like Nick Richardson. If you don't have people like Nick Richardson, this thing's going to be a long season. And watching Nick prepare, watching him in practice, I mean, he's a fun guy to watch. He's got twitch. God blessed him with a lot of stuff, but he plays with high effort. What gets me equally excited are the guys that are going to line up with him and the guys behind them. So it's good, your starters, it's good to have good stars. You have to, but the fact that when they come off the field, because he plays so hard, when he has to come off the field, it's absolutely critical that you have depth behind him, and that's what I'm really excited about. For the first time in a long time around here, we've actually have some depth, some guys on the D-line that can go out there and play hard every single play and not worry about getting tired and having to come off the field, and then the guy behind them not be quite as good. I mean, we've got some good depth now, and I'm excited about that.
Let's talk about your offense. You, I guess, had 5,300 yards of total offense last year and 65 offensive touchdowns. I think 48 of those touchdowns and about 4,500 yards are gone now, and you welcome in a whole bunch of new guys and virtually an entirely new offensive line. So what have you seen so far in camp? And let's even go back to the spring that gives you an indication that you guys are going to be okay.
Well, number one, our quarterback, Parker McKenzie, he takes care of the ball. He is. We always refer to the quarterback as the mailman, and he's delivering the mail. He's not doing too much. I just want him to have a boring game on Wednesday night. You know what? Just go out and nobody notices you, and all of a sudden we look up and we've got 35 points and 400 yards offense. That's what you want out of your quarterback. He has put together a resume last spring, this summer, this fall camp of just protecting the ball, doing the right thing with it, and that gives you a chance. What I really like about our offense is our running back position. You know, Herschel Sims and DeAndre Brown, those are two really good players, and we will get them involved as much as we can, whether we're playing two of them at the same time or moving DeAndre around for the sole purpose to get the ball in his hands. But those two positions I feel good about. Now, Parker hadn't done anything in a game yet, and that's always a little bit spooky, but neither had John David last year. So
and that turned out pretty well, as I recall.
Yeah, he did okay.
Yeah.
He shredded several defenses for 35 passing touchdowns. But it was good. How this thing is going to look, you know, I don't know. Offensively, we'll start out with what we think our guys can do well, with what they've shown us in practice, and then we'll start tinkering with things. Game 2 may look a little bit different than Game 1, and then Game 3, and then so our identity offensively is going to be determined by what our guys are doing well in the game. And but we're gonna run the ball, we're gonna throw the ball, try to be as balanced as we can be, because I think that's the way to win. But it'll sure be interesting watching our offensive line kind of come together. They've never played together. We've got 2 guys that are back that have played. The rest of them are new. And
they're new, but they're big.
Oh yeah, it's like the Nick Richardson deal. In this league, you better be big. It comes down to pushing and pulling and expanding and physics. But yeah, our guys are big and they're going to be good. They're athletic. How quickly they gel and become good, I don't know. I'm hoping it's sooner than we all think. But they'll sure be fun to watch. They're great guys, hot competitors, and they're gonna they'll create some holes for Herschel and DeAndre and hopefully keep the D-line off Parker.
And they've got to be getting better if they're going up against this guy every day, right?
That's right. When you face a quality D-line and excellent pass rushing D-ends, practice sometimes is not going to be all that great as an offense. But as long as those guys are logging those reps and going, okay, I got to do this to block Nick Richardson. I've got to do this. I've got to, and that makes them better. So they've come a long way this fall camp, and they're gonna be nice.
Special teams was a huge question mark in 2013. Now it's an exclamation point. I mean, you bring 2 guys back, and they had to replace Lineberry and Covey, 2 of the best that ACU's ever had. All they did with Austin Kilcullen, your punter, and Nick Grau, they went out and had 2 of the best seasons that any punter and kicker have ever had at ACU. You've got to be happy about that stability, I would think, if you can call Austin Kilcullen stable.
Yeah, that remains to be seen.
Personality-wise only.
Yes. But no, I feel really good. And who knew what was going to happen last year? We had a couple of rookies come in to do that. So, the big thing that I felt we had to do to keep those guys in a groove this year is go out and get one of the top long snappers in the country, Hayden Brodowski. I mean, he is. You watch him now, and he throws the ball between his legs as good as anybody in the country. And so, nobody likes to get to 4th down. But when you're in 4th down, we're in good hands. Yeah. So I like that.
Last thing, Nick just said it a second ago. He feels like it's a different season. Yes, it's the second season as D1, but it's a different feel knowing that you're playing a full Southland Conference schedule, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is our home from here till whenever. And everybody wants to do well within their conference because these are the guys that we will compete against every single season. These are the guys that we're going to have to recruit against. So not only is it on the field competition, but there's competition between these schools pretty much year-round in recruiting. So, the competitiveness of this thing is going to get a little bit hotter, and it'll be fun.
And it all starts on Wednesday night, August 27th. ACU begins its first season as a member of the Southland Conference, first season back in 40 years, taking on Georgia State at the Georgia Dome at a game that will be televised on ESPNU. For Nick Richardson and for Coach Ken Collums, I'm Grant Boone for ACUSports.com.